David Hanks' Persuasive Speech. How many of y'all have ever seen a deer while you've been driving? Or, better yet, how many of you, or not better yet actually, how many of you have actually hit a deer or had a family member hit a deer while driving before? Anybody? Couple? Yep. Well, as you all know, deer collisions with cars, definitely a big problem. But before I get to that point, just want to establish a little baseline. There are four types of species of deer, mainly in the U.S. You have the white-tailed deer, the elk, the mule deer, and the moose. Today I'll be focusing on the white-tailed deer, which there are some 15 million roaming around in the United States, and they cause billions of dollars worth of damage each year. But my solution for this is to implement new hunting laws that allow more hunting, give hunters more access to more land, and to increase the deer season. And if by doing this, deer collisions with cars will decrease dramatically. I will begin my presentation today with the problem, which is the high population or the overpopulation of deer, and then progress from there. So a couple statistics about the problem. There, according to a deer versus car collision article that was published by West Bend's, the Culture of Safety. There are some 1.5 million deer-related car accidents each year, and with this, there are 10,000 injuries sustained to people, 175 to 200 which are actually lethal, and there are some $400 billion worth of vehicle damage. $400 billion, a lot of damage. According to Alan Clemens, who writes for Deer and Deer Hunting, he published on March 19th that they are animals and are expendable in overpopulated situations where their numbers and high levels increase the risk of disease and vehicle crashes, affect the vegetation, and become unhealthy. Also, significant whitetails lead to significant crop damage on our farms, and according to Susan Cowles from University of Pittsburgh, she's a biologist there, she says the problems caused by deer overpopulation are worsening and also extend far beyond forest health to damage on farms, orchards, and residential areas. So in addition to crop damage though, with an overpopulation of deer, deer overgraze, and then they're not adequate food sources for them, so then they starve and eventually die themselves. So that's another big issue. Now, there not be an issue, however, there are some 15 million whitetail deer in the U.S. that roam the country are not the only ones that should be blamed for this. A couple causes. According to the Insurance Journal report in 2012, an increase in urban sprawl and more roads being built through wildlife habitats have displaced deer from their natural habitat, leading to a rise in deer vehicle collisions. So as our cities expand, habitats for white-tailed deer, for example, start to decrease, and then when the new cities are, the deer still exist, and that's where we see a high concentration of these collisions, car collisions with deer. Also, in the past couple years, or the last couple decades, we've eliminated many of the predators for these deer, such as coyotes and wolves, and that has just allowed their population to increase exponentially. Just as people have eliminated the whitetail's natural predators over the years, they're going to have to do the same, or use the same tactics in order to reduce the deer population. So my solution is to implement new legislation that gives deer hunters a longer deer season and more access to land. According to Bruce Henderson of the Charlotte Observer, Charlotte actually implemented a longer deer season this year. The traditional deer season ranges from September through all the way through December. And then, so Charlotte this year also had a season that went from January 11th to February 15th, and they found this very effective. Another article from Deer and Deer Hunting that was published on March 23rd says that we need to implement deer management zones and more regulation. So what this means is that, like right now, you cannot deer hunt in cities, but due to laws, and so we need to give hunters access to hunting in cities, and therefore reduce these high populations that are in the cities as they can harvest deer successfully. Couple things that y'all can do though, if you live in areas where there are high populations of deer, and there's new legislation coming through, just help support it. And also another great way is if you have a deer problem yourself in your backyard or in your neighborhood, grant access to your neighbors or friends that might hunt and allow them to help take care of the problem. Now there not be an issue with an issue at hand here if people did not agree with hunting. We have groups like PETA that say deer hunting is unethical, and according to Henderson from the Charlotte Observer, they call bow hunting to control deer populations cruel and ineffective. I disagree with this statement. With today's technology, especially with bows, it's extremely effective, and it's a much painless way to die than get hit by a car and having deer suffer that way. And then there's also people that do not believe in hunting, and they believe in birth control for deer, actually, surprising enough.